So we've had a very good week actually in the calves house. We haven't had any that have been sick or needing any treatment, which is great. Apart from Picasso, he just needed a bit of antibiotic spray around where his castration ring was. Got a bit mucky, which can happen, so we're keeping an eye on that. Apart from that, everyone else is doing well. The 8 new calves we bought on Wednesday, there's Muffin, big old boy, he's only 7 weeks old, have settled in really well. These 4 here, and then we've got 4 in the big shed. All of them are now drinking milk on their own. We had them on bottles for the first sort of day. The first evening when we buy them, if they don't drink any milk or they're sort of very nervous, which happens frequently, then we'll just leave them go, leave them some water overnight and try in the morning. It's quite a stressful time for them, so we don't want to stress them out even more by grabbing hold of them, and you know, the milk tastes different, things like that. But luckily within sort of 2 days everybody was drinking. They're all now having their full amount of milk twice a day, which is sort of 3 litres to 3.5 litres each twice a day. For the first time today, this group of wean calves had their door open and they're able to go out in the yard now. The sun's shining. We wouldn't have let them out if it was raining. And we've also, well, my boyfriend also put up the buoy, which they absolutely love and will play with for hours. It can actually help stopping them from sucking each other. After they're weaned, it's very common that they'll try and suck on anything they can, on the other calves, the navels, the teats of the heifers, tails, ears, so that just helps give them something to play with basically. But they're all doing really well. That's 2 of the Charlies there. We've got another Charlie over there, and there's a black limo, which I can't see at the moment. He's probably laying down over there somewhere. Oh, there he is, just over there. So they've settled in really well. Just thought I'd talk a bit today about spotting illnesses in calves. They're actually quite fragile animals, which I think surprises some people because they are quite big. They're very susceptible to illness from stress, environmental things such as damp weather, the cold. It can be quite hard on them. One I've always, and I've said it lots of times, my most important piece of equipment in the calves house is my digital thermometer. This one has a flexible tip on it, so it doesn't hurt them or anything like that, and it's also very quick. This is a 10-second result one, which you can buy them quite cheaply from eBay, Amazon, places like that. It's a children's one really. I like the fact that this one is so quick and it is very accurate, because when you're trying to shove something up their bums, they don't particularly like it. Like I said, it doesn't hurt them. So with this one, it is just a bit more comfortable as well because it does have the flexible tip on it. A calf's normal temperature should be between sort of 101 and 102. I will treat anything above 103. If something's like 102.8, I will just check in the morning again, because they can have different readings different times of the day. So if it's under 103, I won't treat there and then. I will just see how they are, unless they've got very obvious signs, you know, sort of breathing problems, struggling, something like that, then I will go ahead and treat them, depending on what it is: penicillin, Alamycin, Metacam, Restflor, Florchem. Whatever their symptoms are will depend on what I use for them. If they're down, not eating and drinking, obviously like puffing as I call it, you know, taking deep long breaths in and their hearts are racing, then I will go straight in with something like Florchem and Metacam or Restflor. If they are just a little bit off, maybe only drunk half their milk, but they have a temperature, then I'll treat with Alomycin, long-acting, and Metacam. I found that it's quite easy to pick up if a calf isn't well. If them calves that drink well normally, and you see they've left even just, a quarter left of their milk, then straight away we'll test them. And 99% of the time they've got a high temperature. So that will show me that they're normally animals that will, as I call it, inhale their milk. They drink it so fast. Just that little bit left on the bottom of the bucket could be a sign that they aren't very well. If he does that, he had a bit of high temperature the other day. He's not sick, bless him. Other signs could be they're just very lethargic. This one, he likes to jump around inside his pen. He likes to wrestle with the bucket holder. So if he wasn't doing that after I'd bedded him up, then I would check his temperature, because that would show me that he wasn't feeling his normal self. So that's an easy thing to pick up on as well, with ones that are normally extremely lively. If they're just that little bit quieter than usual, again, I will check their temperatures. I say 99% of the time they actually have got a temperature. With the thermometer, you just catch it so much earlier. When I first started, if I had a calf that didn't drink all its milk or didn't seem 100%, I'd leave it go, see what they were like by the next day, and sometimes by the next day they could be really poorly. So with a thermometer, you can check them there and then, 10 seconds, you can tell instantly, pretty much, if they have a high temperature. This way they recover so much quicker, because you're catching it right at the start of whatever virus or bug that they actually have. It's not giving the virus chance to damage their lungs, which can then go on to be a lifelong problem. So as I say, catching it that bit quicker helps them as they grow older. The first few months of their life are the most vital. If they get very sick as calves, it can prevent them from growing right for the rest of their life. I had a calf called Jumper, who got pneumonia 3 times, and for the rest of his life he suffered from chronic lung disease, which was, sad to see. He was fine and he grew pretty well, but quite often we'd have to give him Metacam to help his lungs recover. I say he did grow, but I don't want that for them. It's not fair on them. It's also having to give them medication a lot. So the main thing is just, knowing them well as individuals. When you know them well, you know their normal behaviour, if they're very playful, if they're a little bit more placid. So it is so important to know them, well and individually. That definitely helps pick up anything that might be wrong with them. Can be, like I said, simple little things like just leaving a bit of milk in the bucket, not jumping around as much as they would normally, being a bit more lethargic. So they are very susceptible to lots of different bugs and viruses and problems. So it's so important to catch anything quickly, so you can get on top of things, treat them with the right medication, make sure that they're, as happy and healthy as possible. That's one of the new Charlie heifers we bought on Wednesday. She's very vocal. So that's it really. We've had a very good week in the calves house. All 56, which we have now, are doing very well. So just keeping an eye on them all. And that's it really.